Hey guys, James Wilson-Taylor here for Roxanne. We are backstage at Reading Leeds Festival 2022. Enter Shikari on the main stage. And Rao and Chris join me now. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Hey up. Good.
Hey up.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm splendid.
I'm glad to hear it. Let's start with the obvious festival question. Yesterday's set. We'll get to the drama in a minute. But apart from that, looked absolutely outrageous. Fans going nuts for it. It's got to be a pretty great experience being back at that festival, right?
It was surreal. I loved it so much. Like, it's my favourite stage to play. I think it's the festival that I went to as a kid, and so I spent years looking at that stage from the audience perspective. So it's still surreal. It still gives me jitters and butterflies to play Reading and Leeds. But yeah, it was wicked. The set was great. Up until a point, but yeah.
Up until a point, but I mean, as you have articulated on Twitter, it sounds like it was kind of nobody's fault. Particularly as I don't know if anyone watched the footage back on the BBC, but we could hear you nice and clear, man. All
So
the way
you got all
through.
the.
Oh, we got it all. I was like, why has he stopped? I'm into what he's saying here. I'm agreeing with every word, and it's like, oh, okay, they can't hear it down the ground.
Yeah, I think it took us a while to explain or to realise that, hang on, it was still going and it was still being broadcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, because we were just kind of getting shouted at and everyone was going, no, can't hear you.
At first, I thought people were just booing because of the nature of what I was talking about.
Sure.
And then, it was like clear that no one could hear us. But yeah, so you could hear us
If
going,
you watch the
for fuck's
BBC
sake,
clip
basically.
back, I can hear every word.
Oh,
And it's
dear.
just like, so it clearly didn't cut out there. So that's something,
Right.
at least. At least it's, still
It was
out
a power cut at front of house at
Right.
the festival. So we could hear ourselves on stage. The audience, the speakers that the audience couldn't hear anything. So it was a convoluted, strange problem. But yeah.
I think we're just going to tell ourselves that we were rocking so hard that we broke front of house.
Too
what we do.
heavy
We
for
just
Reading,
break sound
Shikari. That's
systems.
why I heard it. I did also love that in times of crisis like that, a crowd does the thing that every British crowd does, which is just chant the band's name to the tune of Seven Nation Army. It's like, this will get fixed. If we just shout Seven Nation Army, it'll be absolutely fine. Of course, brought Wargasm out on stage, which is great. I want to talk about that track because really, really great collab. Another big sky-high chorus from you guys as well. It's absolutely brilliant track. That. Tell me a little bit about writing it and I guess why you thought that was kind of the perfect moment to do something with those guys.
Yeah, well, it started writing it last year, towards the end of last year, like off the back of the Download pilot.
Right.
Because that was like the first time I felt like the live energy, the human connection, all the things that fuels me as a writer. And it was also the first time that we saw Wargasm live. I think we'd met them a few times by that point, but and so as that track developed, I just couldn't stop hearing their voices on it and sent them the demo, and they came back with some awesome ideas, and it just blossomed really quickly. And it's a track that I really wanted to push myself on as a producer. So it's like a very produced track. There's all sorts of sounds, and it's quite weird that we've never really performed it together in a room until literally last week preparing for this.
Sure.
But yeah, it was so fun to play live.
Yeah,
Well.
it seemed to go down really, really well as well. And like you say, it's interesting talking about the production side of that because it's sort of a bit of everything you guys do in that track, really. Like I say, big sing-along chorus, but we got all the electronic stuff there. We got a few heavy breakdowns in there. It's kind of nice to see you throw a bit of everything at it, right?
Absolutely.
Very,
it's a
very
belter.
cool. Absolutely. And in terms of more new music, what kind of stage are you at the minute? Are you playing with more ideas and stuff, or is that just kind of one-off for now?
Ooh, what can we say?
What can you hint at? What can you tease? That's the question.
There's things that are brewing.
I love that's going to be my headline I use now. Ed Shikari on new music. The kettle's on. I like that. Nice. But beginning of things, that kind of stage, demoing kind of stuff.
No, we've got solid stuff coming on now. There will be, there's going to be music.
Album.
There's going to be new. But hopefully there'll be new music this year.
Oh, great.
But yeah, in terms of an album and what it is and everything, we're still
figuring it out.
working on it. Yeah.
It must be nice as well that now, of course, you've finally been able to get out there and tour the last record, which did so well for you guys and everything. And those songs were so made to be played in front of live crowds and everything. I wonder now that is a bit in the rear view, and we're talking about this next year and everything. How are you reflecting on that last record? What were the kind of learning points, and what do you want to carry forward now into the future of the band?
I think that last record was just really weird for us because we had all the hype of it being, the highest charting record we'd ever done, and immediately after that it was just cut short, and we couldn't do anything. So it was we'd had a limb cut from us almost, and it took us a while to get over that, didn't it? Like, to the idea of doing an album then not really being able to put it out there and play it. We felt we couldn't move forward until we'd done that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, we did the tour at the end of the year, and again we had to reschedule some shows in Europe and stuff like that. So we finally just kind of like drew a line under it, and we was like, right, we need to move forward now. So I think that's what this next record is kind of about for us, just moving forward, and we're just focusing on writing just the best songs we can. You know?
Exciting to see how that develops. It really, really is. Ralph, something else I wanted to mention. I had a little chat with Stephen from Lost Alone the other day, and I hadn't realised that you've kind of been getting involved with that new stuff as well. What's that kind of collaboration experience been like for you?
Great. Yeah, we've been doing lots of writing. Like a few years ago, I started just writing outside the band for other people and stuff. And yeah, but we've been doing some bits and pieces together. I've mixed a couple of tracks on their next record as well, which is an awesome record. It's out soon, I think, is it? Or they've released a track.
There's hints and things, and we've heard a couple of tracks. But no, it sounds exciting what he's been working on.
Yeah, the guy's a legend.
Yeah, cool to be able to bring in some old mates to work on it as well. That's just really, really nice. Something else I wanted to mention, just kind of looking back a little bit. I know you guys hate milestones and everything, but we must be coming up to 15 years since the debut now. Is that true?
2007, yeah.
Oh my God, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
Years.
So here's the magic question I always like to ask for anniversaries. What did you learn making that debut that still applies today? It's obvious how much has changed. It's obvious how much you guys have grown. But is there anything you learned making that first record that's actually stuck with you as a kind of rule of thumb or anything?
We were so fresh making that record. We were just learning. I remember like the whole. To think about what's changed, like making that record, we were very much kind of like just doing what we were advised in the recording studio. Now it's like it's transcended to the fact that, like, Rao's now producing it completely. We went completely the whole other way, and the fact that we didn't even use a studio in this last one. We rented an Airbnb and did some recording. So yeah, it's just
all changed.
It's just changed. We just progressed so much and come such a long way.
I learned so much about my voice, I think, on that record, because Take to the Skies, my voice is completely blown out. Like, I had nodules, so I was advised not to sing. So my scream on that record, although it's like it has its sound and it's kind of like, people seem to like it. Like, it was painful, man. It was so I've quite sort of painful memories from recording that, but I learned so much about my voice in that time, and how to sing properly, how to shout properly, how much you can push yourself before you need to actually go onto vocal rests and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was a very steep learning curve, that period.
A necessary one, though. That's good, because you're still here, still doing it. It's all good. Well, before I let you guys go and get ready for this set, I guess what kind of is next for the rest of the year? Are we thinking a little bit more new music? Any more touring plans? Anything else? Anything else you want to tease, basically, before the end of this year?
What are we doing? We're so focused on day to day at the moment. It's just mad.
That's fair.
Well, we've got
America coming up, haven't we?
Next week.
Yeah, that's coming around quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, we haven't been to the States. God, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a little minute, hasn't it? Yeah.
So that's going to be great. And we're doing a 6-week tour out in North America.
And we've got Germany in December.
Yeah.
And yeah, there will be probably one other track this year.
Nice.
We're working on a couple that are getting to that stage where they could be out this year. So
I should ask as well, I guess, any more kind of potential collabs coming up, because obviously that Wargasm was a nice, pleasant surprise. Have you been working with anyone else you want to bring in this time? You can just tease it.
Nothing ready to
disclose.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are things, but collabs are so. We're not that experienced in collabs for Shikari. I've sung on other people's stuff, but we've only done the Wargasm thing and then the Big Nasty thing before that. And we find that they're it's so hard, both parties sorting their schedules out and getting stuff that you both dig, and it's always quite scary because I've only written music either by myself in my room or with these guys.
Sure.
So to open up with other people immediately was always quite hard for me, but I think the last few years have changed that a lot with the writing I've been doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's stuff, but I don't know whether it's at the point that we can start teasing it yet, because it might not come out.
Okay, fair enough. Nice to know that you're open to it, I suppose, at least. Always meeting up with some friends doing some new stuff.
Oh, there's the Pendulum thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that's not, well, I don't think it's being released, but I'm jumping on with Pendulum.
You jumped on with them today?
Sorry Not a Winner remix.
Oh my God! Well, there's.
I can't believe I almost forgot that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Have you had I know they were at Reading yesterday. Have you had much of a chance to kind of rehearse it? Did you do it yesterday at Reading?
Yeah.
How
It
was
was
that reaction?
so much fun.
Oh my God!
I mean, it was an absolutely rammed dance tent, because they were announced last minute.
Yeah, it was like secret set, literally just announced before they went on.
Yeah,
basically.
and I rehearsed with them like a couple of weeks before, and it was just so much fun. Like, there's such awesome guys.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant vibe in that tent. Yeah.
That's a tour I'd love to see one day, as you boys and Pendulum.
Yeah.
That'd be an absolute beast of a tour right there. One day. Have a great rest of your weekend, guys. We'll catch up soon, all right?
Thank you, mate.
Good to see you, and Shikari, everybody.